The Well of Silence. The night was heavy with mist, but silence ruled the forest. Every branch creaked as if whispering secrets. Every leaf trembled as though afraid of being seen, far away from the lights of any human town. An old stone well stood. Hidden in the darkness, broken and forgotten by time, tonight that well was not empty. Tonight, it became a prison. A group of shadowed figures dragged someone across the forest floor. Their steps were quick, their hands merciless. The one they carried was a woman, but not human. Her skin glowed faint blue, a soft light in the night. Her hair shimmered like liquid silver. Reflecting the dim moonlight, her eyes burned with terror, wide and desperate. She cried in a language that twisted between sound and meaning. A voice that seemed both near and far, but her captors did not care. They pushed her closer to the well. Ignoring her screams, the woman tried to fight. Her arms thrashed, her nails dug into the earth. Her voice grew louder, but the shadows dragged her without pause. When they reached the well, one of them spoke in a cold, harsh tone. "No one will find you here." And before she could beg again, they shoved her hard into the darkness. The fall was merciless. She struck the rough walls of the well before crashing into the filthy water below. The stench was thick, a mixture of mud, rot, and decay. Her glowing body dimmed as she struggled to rise, coughing, gasping. The water clung to her like poison, her silver hair tangled in the dirt. Above her, the figures were already gone, their footsteps fading into the night. Only silence remained. Her voice echoed up the narrow walls. "Help me, please," she cried. Her alien tongue stumbled into human words, broken but clear. She screamed again and again, her voice slicing through the quiet air. But the forest gave no answer. The wind passed over the mouth of the well, carrying her cries away. No footsteps came, no rescuer appeared. Hours passed, her strength began to fade. Her glowing skin lost its brightness. Her breaths turned shallow. The cold water drained her will. Every time she tried to climb, the wet stones betrayed her grip. Her hands slipped, her nails broke, her body fell back into the filth. Tears mixed with the water. But even those tears seemed wasted. She looked up at the circle of sky, so far above, and whispered weakly, "Is anyone there?" The night answered only with silence. The forest animals did not dare to come close. Even the owls kept their distance, as though they knew this well was cursed. She shivered and closed her eyes. In her mind, she saw her home, the distant world she had come from. She remembered the endless sky of her people, the light of her stars. And now she was trapped in dirt, abandoned on a planet not her own. A planet of humans. Her lips trembled as she tried one last time. "Please, someone." And then from above, a sound. Not wind, not echo, not her own imagination. A voice, young and human. "Hello." Her eyes widened. At the edge of the well, a figure leaned forward. A boy, no older than 16, his eyes wide with shock. He had come with a lantern in his hand, drawn by her cries. For a moment, he thought he was dreaming. A glowing woman in a dirty well, her voice mixing alien and human words. But she was real. Her silver hair floated on the water. Her hands reached upward, trembling. "Please help me," she whispered. Her words were broken but clear enough. The boy hesitated, fear racing through him. He had heard stories of strange lights in the forest, stories of things not human, but never had he imagined he would see one. Yet something in her voice, something in her eyes, cut through his fear. He leaned closer. "I can hear you," he said softly. Her tears fell again, but this time with hope, in the middle of the forgotten forest. In the silence of the night, she had called out to the stars, and the only answer she received was from a human. The human's choice. The boy's name was Aaron, and he could not believe what his eyes were seeing. He had come into the forest. That night only to check on his family's goats, which often wandered too close to the trees. He carried a small lantern and a stick, nothing more. But instead of animals, he had found a voice calling for help. And now, leaning over the edge of the old well, he saw her. The woman below was not human. Her skin glowed faint blue like the sky at dawn, and her silver hair floated on the dirty water. Her eyes shone with pain and fear, yet also with something that held him still. Hope. She reached up with trembling arms, her voice weak but desperate. "Please help me." Aaron's heart pounded in his chest. He wanted to run. Every story from his village warned about things from the sky. Some said they brought curses, others said they were monsters, in disguise. But she did not look like a monster. She looked like someone abandoned, someone who had no strength left. He knelt by the well and whispered, "I don't know who you are, but I can't leave you here." The woman's lips moved, and though her words slipped between alien and human sounds, he understood. "You are human," she said slowly, each word heavy. "Yes," Aaron answered. "I am human, and I will try to help." The well was deep, its walls slick with moss. Aaron looked around for something, anything. His eyes caught a coil of rope, half buried. Under the grass, old but strong, it must have been left by hunters long ago. He tied one end to a thick tree root and lowered the rope into the darkness. "Grab the rope!" he called. The woman reached out, her hands shaking. She tried once but slipped, falling back into the water. Aaron's heart clenched. "Try again," he begged. "You can do it." She gathered her last bit of strength. Her fingers locking onto the rope, slowly, painfully, she began to climb. Her arms trembled, her glowing skin dimmed further. But she did not let go. Aaron pulled with all his might. He was not strong, but fear gave him power. Step by step, she rose higher, water dripping from her clothes, hair plastered to her face. At last, her hands gripped the edge. Aaron reached down and caught her arm. With a final heave, he dragged her onto the ground beside him. For a moment, she lay there gasping, her silver hair spread across the dirt like spilled light. Aaron crouched beside her, unsure what to do. He had never seen anyone like her. She coughed, and dirty water spilled from her lips. "Thank you," she whispered in a voice barely audible. Aaron nodded quickly. "Don't thank me yet. I don't even know what's happening." The forest seemed to grow colder, the shadows pressing closer. Aaron felt the weight of unseen eyes, as though something still hunted her. "Who were they?" he asked. "The ones who threw you in?" The woman's eyes widened with fear, and she shook her head weakly. "Enemies," she whispered. "They want me gone. They want no witness." Her words sent a chill down his spine. Aaron looked toward the village lights in the far distance. If he took her there, the villagers would panic. They would see her glowing skin, her alien face, and call her a danger. He could not risk that. But he also could not leave her here. The woman tried to sit up, but her body was too weak. Aaron offered his hand, and after a moment she took it. Her skin was cold, almost icy, but soft. "My name," she said slowly, fighting with the human words, "is Lyra," Aaron repeated. The name, testing it on his tongue. Lyra. She nodded, a faint smile flickering before vanishing again, replaced by exhaustion. "We need to move," Aaron said, his voice firmer now. "If those men come back, they'll find you and I don't. Think they'll stop until you're dead." Lyra's eyes filled with fear, but also trust. She nodded once. Though her body trembled with weakness, Aaron helped her to her feet, wrapping his arm around her to support her weight. She leaned against him, her glowing skin faint under the lantern light. Together they stumbled through the forest, each step slow but determined. The night whispered around them, the wind carrying strange sounds. Branches cracked in the distance, and Aaron wondered if the shadowed figures were still searching. He tightened his grip on Lyra, refusing to let go. Every instinct told him he had just stepped into something far bigger than himself, yet he also knew one thing with certainty. He could not abandon her. Not now, not ever. The old well stood behind them, silent once more, but its secret was no longer hidden. From this night forward, Aaron's life would never be the same. The secret pursuit. The forest was not safe, and Aaron knew it. Every step he took with Lyra pressed against his side made the night feel heavier. The trees seemed alive, their branches stretching like claws, their roots twisting like traps beneath his feet. He kept his lantern low, its glow weak compared to the faint light of Lyra's skin. If anyone saw them together, questions would come, dangerous questions with no safe answers. Lyra's breathing was shallow, each step a struggle. Her silver hair clung to her wet clothes, dripping cold water onto the earth. Aaron tightened his grip, whispering, "Stay with me. We're almost safe." But he knew it was a lie. There was no true safety yet. Behind them, far in the trees, a sound broke the silence. A branch snapped. Heavy footsteps followed. Aaron froze, his heart pounding. In his chest, Lyra's hand tightened around his arm, her eyes wide. "They are here," she whispered, her voice trembling. Aaron swallowed hard, pulling her into the shadows of a thick oak tree. He blew out the lantern, plunging them into near darkness. The only light left was the faint blue glow of her skin, which he quickly covered with his cloak. From the distance, dark figures moved, their voices low and sharp. "They can't be far," one said. "The trail is fresh." Another voice hissed, "If she escapes, everything is lost. Find her, or none of us will survive." Aaron's blood turned cold. Who were these men, and why did they want Lyra dead? The footsteps grew closer. Aaron held his breath, pressing Lyra against the tree. She trembled. Not from cold this time, but from fear. Her glowing skin fought against the cloak, dim light slipping through. Aaron gritted his teeth and held her tighter, whispering, "Stay still." The men passed just a few steps away. Aaron could see the outlines of their weapons glinting in the moonlight, long blades and iron rods. Their faces were hidden beneath hoods, shadows swallowing their features. One paused, his head turning toward the oak tree. Aaron's heart stopped. The man sniffed the air like a predator, then growled low. "She is near!" Aaron's instinct screamed at him to run, but he forced himself still, his hand over Lyra's mouth. The man took a step closer, his boots crunching on dead leaves. Then suddenly a howl rose from deep in the forest, far but powerful. The hooded men stiffened, exchanging quick glances. "Not now," one hissed. "We don't have time." And just like that, they moved. On, their footsteps fading into the distance, swallowed by the forest. Aaron did not breathe until the night fell silent again. When he finally removed his hand, Lyra gasped softly, her body shaking against his. "They will not stop," she whispered. "They will hunt until they find me." Aaron looked into her glowing eyes, fierce yet broken. "Then we'll make sure they don't," he said, his voice stronger than he felt. He guided her further, into the forest, away from the old paths. He knew a hidden shelter, a small cave near the cliffs where he sometimes hid from storms. It was dangerous, but safer than open ground. Step by step, they reached it, the cave hidden behind thick roots and stones. Inside, the air was cool, the ground uneven, but it was shelter. Aaron helped her sit, then lit the lantern again, shielding the light with his hand. For the first time he could see her clearly. Her skin was cracked in places, glowing faintly, like broken glass. Her arms were covered in strange marks, not scars, but symbols etched into her flesh. Her silver eyes followed his gaze, and she pulled her arm back quickly. "These marks," she whispered, "they are why they fear me. They are why they want me gone." Aaron frowned, confused. "What do they mean?" Lyra's voice dropped, filled with sorrow. "They are a message, burned into me by my own people, a warning, a curse, and a key." Aaron felt a chill. "You mean your people did this to you?" Lyra nodded slowly, tears welling in her eyes. "They threw me away, just like the men tonight, because I carry a secret they do not want revealed." She looked straight at him, her voice trembling yet steady. "And now, human, you are part of it." Aaron sat in silence, the weight of her words pressing down on him. He was only a boy from a quiet village, yet somehow, in one night, he had been pulled into a war he did not understand. He looked at her, fragile yet unyielding, and something inside him hardened. He could not turn away. Not now. Not ever. Outside the cave, the forest was alive with whispers. The hunters were still searching, their shadows slipping through the trees. The night had not ended. The danger was not gone. The pursuit had only just begun. The last stand. The cave walls shook as the night outside filled with voices. The hunters were close, their torches casting red light across the forest. Aaron could hear them calling to one another, their words sharp like blades. "They are near! Do not let them escape!" one shouted. The echo carried into the cave, making Lyra's eyes widen with dread. Aaron gripped the stick he had carried from the village. It was only wood, nothing compared to the weapons outside, yet he held it tightly, his knuckles white. He turned to Lyra, who sat against the stone, her skin faintly glowing like a dying star. "You can't fight like this," he whispered. "You're too weak." She shook her head, her silver hair falling over her face. "They are not here for me alone," she said, her voice trembling. "They will kill you too, because you helped." "Me?" Aaron swallowed hard. He had always been a boy who avoided trouble, but tonight there was no choice. He looked at Lyra and said, "Then we fight together." Her eyes widened, surprise flashing before turning into something else, trust. The first shadow appeared at the mouth of the cave, a hooded figure holding an iron blade. His eyes glowed faint in the firelight, not human. Aaron's breath caught, but he stepped forward, blocking the way. The man sneered, "Move, boy! She is ours!" Aaron's hands trembled, yet he stood his ground. "No," he said, his voice breaking but clear. "She stays with me." The hunter moved fast, his blade flashing down. Aaron raised his stick in panic, the wood cracking under the force. The sound echoed like thunder. In the cave, Lyra screamed, and in that moment her body flared with sudden light. Blue fire rushed across her skin, her eyes burning bright. The hunter stumbled back, shielding his face from the glow. Aaron turned, shocked. "What is happening?" he asked. Lyra's voice was fierce, strong for the first time. "My curse, my gift, it awakens when danger comes." The eye glow pulsed through the cave, lighting the stone walls. More hunters arrived, their shadows stretching long, their voices filled with rage. "Do not let her escape," they cried. "End this now." Aaron stood beside Lyra, his fear burning into courage. "If you want her," he shouted, "you'll have to go through me." The hunters charged, their blades glinting. Lyra raised her hands, and symbols etched into her skin burned with white light. The cave shook. The air rippled, and a wave of force pushed the first attackers back. They crashed into the rocks, their screams swallowed by the night. Aaron could only stare, his heart racing. She was more than he had imagined, more than human stories had ever told. But the glow drained her strength, her body swaying. Aaron rushed to her side, holding her steady. "You can't stop them alone," he said. She nodded weakly. "Then, help me, human, lend me your strength." He didn't understand how, but when he held her hand, warmth surged through him. It felt like fire and lightning together. spreading through his veins. His lantern flickered, the cave filled with blue light, and together they stood against the shadows. The hunters screamed as the light spread, their weapons melting in their hands. The cave floor cracked, dust falling from the ceiling. One by one, the shadows fled, their voices echoing with fear. "Too late!" one shouted. "She has chosen the human, it cannot be undone." Then they vanished into the forest, leaving only silence. Aaron fell to his knees, gasping, his body shaking. Lyra collapsed beside him, her glow fading to a soft shimmer. For a long time neither spoke, only the sound of their breaths filled the cave. At last, Aaron whispered, "They're gone." Lyra nodded slowly, her silver eyes wet with tears. "For now," she said. "But they will return. More will come." Aaron looked at her, his chest heavy with both fear and determination. "Then I'll be ready," he said. "You're not alone anymore." She stared at him, her lips trembling, then smiled faintly. "You are strange, human. You save one you should fear." Aaron smiled back, though exhaustion weighed on him. "Maybe that's what makes us human," he said softly. Outside, the first light of dawn touched the forest. The night of terror was ending, but a greater journey had just begun. The boy from the village and the alien woman from the stars sat. Side by side, enemies hunted them, secrets surrounded them, but in that silent cave one truth was clear. Together they had survived, and together they would fight again.